Order, honorable members. I now recognize Honorable Mlenzan. Over to you, sir.
Greetings, Chairperson and the House. The ANC supports the bill. These bills are not about political party affiliation. They are about the people of this country, the real impact on the economy and the transformation that South Africans need. Our opposition parties here today would rather not support the initiatives through the budget to effect changes to the lives of our people, to keep them safer, to build infrastructure and secure social assistance to the poor and the vulnerable in our society. Unlike them, the ANC has a historical social contract with the people of this country to bring the necessary transformation to ensure that everyone enjoys the fruits of our democracy. This bill addresses key aspects related to socio-economic conditions in our country. The security of our country is critical for maintenance of territorial integrity. The resource allocation to peace and security must be understood within the context of increasing unpredictability at the global level, as we can see the escalating political, economic, and social conflict within the emergence of global ideological contestation. Also on the democratic front, on the domestic front, we are confronted with a lot. One can mention violence, crime, social unrest, degradation of society, and if all these are left unattended, this will threaten our democracy. Hence, maintenance of peace and security is essential, not only for our democracy, but also for the growth and transformation of our society. This bill therefore allocates an additional 3.3 billion to South African police services for the upgrading and construction of police stations, as well as improving the visibility of policing in general. This allocation will have ripple effects also in terms of job creation, safer communities, and increased demand in the economy. The South African National Defence Force is given an additional 1.3 billion to strengthen the capabilities of SANDF. SANDF also plays a critical part in reconstruction of our society. Maybe these ones not understand that SANDF is currently addressing infrastructure backlogs faced particularly in the rural provinces like Eastern Cape, KZN, Northwest, Free State, and Limpopo through the program called Welisizwe Bridges Program. And this program is not only making it making people accessible to the roads and all, but it is also labor intensive, creating a number of working opportunities through the EPWP. A number of skills is actually transferred to the workers and communities. In fact, I can mention, Chair, that there would always be about 40 EPWP workers over the medium term. Imagine we have built 48 bridges. Now that would tell you that the rural provinces at a cost of 3.3 billion have managed to create a total of 6,270 job opportunities each financial year. Let me quickly talk on the borders. The porous borders are a threat to the country. Remember, we have got 4,854 kilometers, and you have got 72 ports of entry, 9 seaports, and 2,798 kilometers, as well as 10 airports. Now, the ANC understands the importance of border security. As a result, Home Affairs is allocated 1.3 billion to capacitate the new Border Management Agency, which aims to strengthen border control and give authority effective to all the ports of entry within the border law enforcement area. In this, all that I'm talking about, there's an estimated 38,000 jobs that will be created. Now, this adjustment appropriation bill makes commitment to continue financing critical infrastructure projects and sustaining EPWP program, which has created 14 million job opportunities since 2004. Now, if you care, today I am focusing on opening up your minds on how has the ANC government managed to create jobs. An incentive grant of 1.3 billion is allocated to public bodies to incentivize job creation through EPWP program, which will sustain the jobs that I am talking about. MISA, which is the Municipal Infrastructure Support Agent, has implemented infrastructure projects worth 200 million as a contribution towards eradication of services backlogs, implemented and complemented water and sanitation, more than 500 experts, including young graduates, are being deployed to municipalities. But let me touch this, Chairperson. You know, the white minority is in a program to reverse the gains made by the progressive forces of this country. And they are doing this in many forms. Yabona oyena muntu ebefanelwe zifaskoti ezini izinxiba nina ngulo umnyama yedwa ngoyena ebefanele zifaskoti obana unxiba zona so that aseve ipurpose yokunxityiswa intoni ifaskoti.
There's a hand up, Honorable Kwafube.
House Chair, is the member implying that for some reason, because I'm a woman, I should be walking around in an apron? I just want to understand. Is that the sexism that you are stooping to right now?
Honorable Kwafube, I will check and seek advice from the front table. The only dilemma that I have is that he didn't mention a name. He said law, but never. No, not that. Don't assist me. I said I'm going to check with the front table. Honorable Kwafube. Oh, now I'm leaving it. Honorable Lenzana, continue because she's defending herself now.
We are painfully aware that the DA goes around bribing traditional leaders. Imagine going out there and buying votes from that poor traditional leader with a bottle of brandy. You know it. You know it. Niyabonwa.
Honorable members.
Sinijongile.
Don't
Also, the silence of the DA is loud on the conduct of banks and big cartels in manipulating the rand and inflating the price of goods. Loyalty and allegiance are of your loyalty. Let me say it, the DA. Your loyalty and allegiance are against the people of this country. Your focus is on the white private capital. Sinijongile. We have seen all this that you are doing. Niyabona. Roughly, 7.8 million people rely on SRD, which you always undermine. And around 60% of government's budget is spent on the social wage to combat poverty and hunger. Now, when we are talking of combating poverty and hunger, I want you to go to Ward 18 in the city of Cape Town. See how people abaphila ngakhona emfuleni in the name of you thinking that you would fight for them. According to the opposition party, particularly DA, these vulnerable people must be left out there on their own devices and starved to death because they do not want our people. Hatred of our people is in them. It is instilled. It is running within their bloodstream. They do not love South Africans, but they want to get votes from South Africans and do what they usually do. You can jump like popcorns today, up and down. They are looking at you. Let me tell you, your day is coming when they will throw you under the bus. Be ready to be thrown under the bus
Honorable
because
members,
you know your masters. Immediately, you want to pick up issues and say no, then you would be shown the gate. Perhaps let me wrap up. Let me wrap up my speech by saying this adjustment budget is not about, I will always say this, it is not about new money. I will always say this. Two, this adjustment appropriations bill is also trying to discourage under and non-spending. It cannot be that you will come here today, you cry foul about departments which are not spending. When we are addressing that through reprioritization, again, you come here and cry foul. It means there is an element of confusion somewhere, or it means you do not mean what you say. And as I've said, sinijongile, niyabona. Abantu, there's a time when they will cry and say, bakhalela ilizwe labo. Because nalithatha ilizwe lethu, ngoku nicingela into yobana nizophinda futhi nilithathe ngotywala again. Thank you, Chairperson.
Honorable Mnanzana, come back. Come back. Yes, take a seat, Honorable Mnanzana. Honorable Mnanzana, then you may stand up so that I can address the matter. Honorable Mnanzana, phakama. Mara apho nje, ujonge ngaphaya.
Okay,
Okay.
bye.
Enkosi. Honorable members, in terms of Rule 82, under reference to a member in a respectful terms in the House is the disciplinary members were also assisted and reminded. Can you just take out that gentleman or whoever? And please. Or its translation. Members must refer to each and every member, regardless, in a respectful terms, not only manner terms, in terms of the choice of words. Rule 85, reflection upon members. As presiding officers, we are also meant to respect and uphold Rule 85(1). No member may impute improper motive to any other member or cast personal reflections upon any member's integrity or dignity, or verbally abuse a member in any other member. Honorable Mnanzana, May you assist this house? When you said this member, were you referring to Honorable Kwahube or? If you may respond.
No. However, Chairperson, there is no sin in saying I withdraw.
No, no, honorable member, I've just asked you, were you, it's yes or no?
I've said no.
Okay, you may leave the podium. Thank you very much. I now recognize the Honorable Minister of Finance. Offer.
Honorable House Chairperson, I always start by thanking the committees that I work with. Quite, even in this respect, I want to thank the Appropriation Chairperson Committee led by Usheng. Very good work by that committee. I even even when they entertain themselves by putting difficult questions. I would suggest, Shenge, on the 22nd of February, we're going to have another appropriation meeting. It must be physical because I could see how Honorable Manye and Honorable George were agitated during the virtual one. So let's see each other virtual and physical on the 22nd. But let me just say, one of the important things is not to trivialize challenges that are confronting the South African economy. I don't dispute there could be other challenges, contributory factors, some of them structural. What we are facing on, for instance, on the forecast, it is easy to play a game and suggest that Treasury didn't focus properly, when in fact, everybody has been moving around. Let me just give you the ourselves and IMF. At the beginning of when we tabled the budget, we said we're at 0.9. The IMF said we're going to have at 0.1%. Where we sit now, we're saying 0.8, the IMF is saying 0.9. So it reflects some of these challenges. So ours is a growth challenge which we need to address. And I'll deal with that matter in detail on the 21st of February. What we're facing is a revenue shortfall. And that revenue shortfall is a result of these changes, structural problems we've confronted in the economy. And as a result, we had to cut our expenditure. I'm going to come back to this. But let's not try and suggest that the issue is the wage bill. If you recall, 4.5% of that was already in the hands of the public servant because it was a cash gratuity. We converted that into the baseline, which was 22 billion rand of the total 15 billion rand. So the total actual increase was 3%. So I wanted to clarify that. In terms of the state-owned enterprises, we still reflect our commitment to make sure that there is tough love. The change in the ESCOM conditions are a reflection of that. In dealing with Transnet, we're not going to repeat the same template. We've already reflected that in tabling of the medium-term budget policy statement. But let me correct a lie which is being spread around, not by anybody else, a number of people, including government, which Mr. Manye reflected on here, that the conditions we've attached to ESCOM are precluding ESCOM from doing generation and new capacity. The conditions are, if ESCOM wanted to must focus on maintenance, if ESCOM want to go into new generation, well and good, they must provide a genuine case to the Minister of Finance, who shall make the necessary approval. So ESCOM can go into generation. The other issue, I want to invite members to read. You know, we publish information for members to read. It's going to be interesting now. We've just published Section 32 reports of the first 6 months. That interesting read in terms of how the expenditure patterns look like. And how are we going to fair by the end of the financial year. Honorable Member George Dion refers to the gold and foreign exchange reserve account. I'm muted on that. I'm not going to talk about it. If I say anything, it will probably be on the 21st. I'm not going to say anything. But I want to draw the attention of the member to the Jifeka Act, the same act of 2003, and say what was happening in that environment, in that account went into a deficit, that account. When that account goes into a deficit, what happens? The fiscus funds that account when it does that. That's what we did in 2003. Now that that fund is in a surplus, they say, people, if you take the surplus, you're looting it. It can't be right, that language. You know, what we're dealing with is poverty of policy and experience. Poverty of policy and experience. How does this manifest itself? You know, Honorable George, I've been warning you with some of those policies you've been making here. In fact, that's what Lee's Trust did. And my colleague, Kwasi, who was fired while I was having breakfast with him in Washington. What happened is that if you pursue policies like that, cut taxes, increase expenditure, what happens? The Lee's Trust government collapsed in less than 50 days in the UK. Is that the template you want to give for the South African government? Unfortunately, we can't. We've got a responsibility as a government to make pragmatic decisions. Your policies collapsed the government. My colleague, Minister of Finance, had 38 days in government. Yes, the issue of infrastructure is quite critical. We're going to say something on the 21st on it of February. It's a major issue which is going to increase government investment. Now, the DA says, when people stand up, they talk about they deliver. Everybody here is canvassing. Let me tell you the following. I know the DA delivers in the Western Cape. What does it deliver? Walking tracks and bicycles and walking tracks for white people. No roads in townships. That's the delivery they do. That's their delivery. What is going to surprise them? What is going to surprise them? They are going to be surprised even by the outcome of Western Cape. Because they are relaxed in the Western Cape, they've made it their monopoly. They're going to be surprised. They are going to be surprised. But all your presentations have got racial undertones. No, we will not want to make that point. You know, have got racial undertones. Let me just quote a couple of things. For instance, when we were appointing a public protector, one of you made a serious racial undertone. That black person, that black woman is not rising because she's intellectual. She's rising because that's what you are suggesting. That's what you are suggesting. You continue.
Order, honorable members.
You continue.
Honorable members, honorable minister, honorable members, the screaming and shouting across each other, it doesn't help.
No,
And I won't make a ruling. If
your
it's a point of
speaker
order.
in parliament suggested that I was there. Suggested that public protector rose not because she's intellectual, a good advocate. And she decided to walk out when we were questioning that thing. Those things need to be stated. Yesterday, your leader, Stenese, says all those public servants are going to be fired. Because why? They're not professionals. They're deployed as cadres by the ANC, insulting the intellect of those public servants. We must tell you, these people must be aware when they vote for you, what are they voting for? The choice between South Africa is the continuity of transformation and stability. That's the choice between us. When we go to those polls, South Africans must be told which political party in this country has got the capability to provide stability in this country, and the ANC alone has got that. And which political party is going to continue with the transformation agenda is the African Congress. A vote for the DA is the vote for the reversal of the gains we've made. It's a vote for firing all black people in senior positions. That's what we are saying. A vote for the DA, a vote for the DA is support for the continued genocide in Gaza. That's what it means. A vote for the DA is a vote that supports continued genocide in
Honourable
Gaza.
Minister.
South Africans,
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister.
you must not mislead people
Honourable
here.
Minister.
Leave the podium.
That's what the
Thank you.
debate is about.
Honourable Minister, your time is up. Order, honourable members. Honourable members, order. Order, honourable members. Honourable members. Honourable members, should I call names? Honourable Minister, Honourable Paulson, Honourable Minister, Honourable Paulson. Honourable members, I did say earlier on that Honourable Minister and Honourable Paulson, I've called you 2 times. Now, Honourable Paulson, it's the 4th time. And I guess you'll assist yourself to leave the room.
Then the minister must leave the room as well.
Honourable
Who are-
Mkhalifi,
Say so when I'm
Honourable
cutting.
Mkhalifi, Honourable Sonti. Okay. Honourable members, and unifake engxakini ke ngoku Honourable Sonti. Okay? Honourable members. Honourable members.
Usaba minister na minister kaphumi.
No, Honourable Ngobile. Don't do that. Okay? Honourable members, that concludes the debate and 2023 medium. Do you really want me to take you out? Honourable members, that concludes the debate on the 2023 medium-term budget policy statement and the first reading debate on the adjustment appropriation bill.